so we're going to talk about the use of the color picker, which is discussed on page 186 of the textbook. The color picker is the closest thing to what you would have as an electronic palette, in the sense that you can just get this kind of organic feel as you move in and around a spectrum of colors. And you may access the color picker most easily by selecting on your fill or your stroke frame here in the toolbar. What they ask us to do on the bottom of page 186 is to select this, almost looks like a toothy grin, this shape here with your selection tool. And what we see, it looks kind of confusing. What object are we selecting? Are we selecting the black bars, or are we selecting the sort of muted orange shape there in the background? You can sort of get a clue on that by looking at your object, and it shows you that this object has a black stroke and the orange fill, orangish, not sure what to call that, colored butter maybe, the butter colored fill. So this is telling us that the shape that we're dealing with has the butter colored fill and the black stroke. But look what happens when I click on the fill twice. It brings up what's known as the color picker. The color picker can give you multiple angles or multiple perspectives on your color. Over here you have the CMYK distribution of the color, and this is showing us right now, we're looking at a view of the saturation on this little bar right here. And notice that these little items here, these are called radio buttons in the computer programming world. This radio button is currently selected to the saturation monitor, which says that we're at a 45% saturation. If we click on the B, we see that we are at 100% B, which is for brightness. So when we're looking at these little letters, H stands for hue, and when I click on hue, you can see that the hue is kind of in the realm of the orange, orange on the color spectrum. The saturation is at 45% and the brightness is at 100%. So what we're asked to do is change the saturation value. So I'm going to click on the S right here, and they tell us to move the spectrum slider up till we get to 60%, and that's what I'm going to do here. A little bit more, very close. And there we have it. And that changes the saturation. This gives you a preview of what it was before and what you're changing it to. So you have this nice little comparison of what distance you've traveled. So over here, this is telling you the CMYK distribution of your colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And down here, this is telling you what your named color swatch is in the RGB environment. So those of you who work for web, there are very specific numbers and letters assigned for various color values. And here, if we, this tells you if your color is web safe. Web safe colors, the web is known to only be able to deliver a certain set of colors. We're limited in what our eyes can tolerate on some screens. So this is just telling us that we are in a web color as opposed to not in a web color.